Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we would like to present the topic about the usage of virtual reality (VR) and brings out the awareness of vaccine hesitancy. So this one is specific for the International Innovation Competition IM 2022. Okay, so we are the lecturer and student from the Satu University College. My name is Miss Fasehah binti Abdullah, senior lecturer at Satu University College, with my student Miss Lim Yan Jo, student Bachelor of Design Computer Graphic Design at Satu University College. This is our research background. According to Alias 2020, she mentioned that due to the impact of COVID-19, the number of confirmed cases in Malaysia has been increased. This one supported by 2021, a lack of understanding of COVID-19 vaccine among the public has led to hesitation regarding the vaccination. Problem statement for our research is about according to Wong 2020, stated the National Health and Mobility Survey (NHMS) shows that reason for incomplete or non-vaccine including: first, have the problem in healthcare facilities; second, about the personal reasons such as time constraints, ignoring clinic or hospital appointments, geographical barriers, fear that the vaccine is non-halal permitted under Islamic law, and previous experience from their side. Okay, next. We have two research questions. First is how to build Malaysian confidence and trust against vaccines. Second, how to bring out the awareness of the threat of being unvaccinated. Answer for this our research question is our two research objective. First is to change the public misconception about the vaccines and encourage to the public not to listen to rumors on the internet. And then the second for the research objective is to consider a scenario in which the public experience and the damage of the virus and effect of those around this VR virtual reality. This is our research limitation. We have two. First is public who refuse about vaccination in Malaysia, and then second is focusing on the measles of the COVID-19 and vaccine hesitancy. Our step for the delimitation is first is the project aim to bring awareness through VR of vaccination hesitancy to address the risk of COVID-19 outbreak. A second is to explain the basic concept about vaccine hesitancy and break down the public prejudice and misconception about the people who refuse the vaccination. And our significant study for this title is first is to bring out the awareness of the three vaccine hesitancy one can experience on the scenario of being isolated from their loved one through the VR view. And then the second is this project aims to help to reduce people's doubts about the vaccine and to increase trust and those vaccination rates. So we go for the chapter 2 is the literature review. For this LR, we can continue. This introduction of the vaccine hesitancy. First, according to McDonald 2015, there are many forms of the vaccination hesitation including delay acceptance, incomplete vaccination, and refusal of the vaccination despite readily available vaccines in vaccination service. And then second is it was announced in the early 2019 that vaccine hesitation poses of the global health threat, underscoring and the concern of the health professionals about the vaccine hesitation might negatively impact health population and viability. And then the last for the VR is this one stated by Department of Family Health Development, Ministry of Health 2019 about the potential factors of vaccine hesitancy in Malaysia. They have 5. First is low awareness about the vaccination and benefits, and then the second is religious concern about the vaccination. Third, activities against vaccination in Malaysia. Fourth is the fear of the vaccine side effect and misconception, and then the 5 is the needle phobia. So next we go to the data analysis. I will give it to my student, Miss Lee Yang Jo.
Starting from now on, I will discuss the data analysis of this project. For this project, I used the random sampling method by using the Google form. In this survey, we examine the factors that may cause vaccine hesitancy and how we can address them. We have received 102 responses to this survey. The questionnaire is divided into 3 parts. The first is the demographic details of the respondents. Secondly, the respondents' awareness of vaccine hesitancy. Lastly, media approaches of the outcome for the research. So, the purpose of this question is to investigate which platform users mainly use to obtain information about vaccine hesitancy. According to the survey, about 43.1% of respondents obtain information online. This question is to see if respondents know how to deal with vaccine hesitancy, and surprisingly, more than half of the respondents don't know how to deal with vaccine hesitancy. This question is to ask respondents on opinions on the usage of virtual reality on the topic of vaccine hesitancy. In this study, 90 out of 102 respondents think that virtual reality can attract and raise public awareness of vaccine hesitancy. So, for the next section, I will be discussing about the design for my project. For the design sample of the VR experience video, I created a virtual scenario that the public will be experiencing from the perspective of a patient that doesn't have partial antibodies due to vaccine hesitancy. By doing so, the public will be more aware and immersed in the vaccine hesitancy towards the society and their family members. After analyzing the data, I choose YouTube as the platform to raise the awareness of vaccine hesitancy. So for this poster, I wanted to create a solemn and dangerous atmosphere on this topic. By creating this effect, I used only one light source that reflected on the protagonist. The upper right QR code is linked directly to the VR video on the YouTube. So this poster is mainly it's promoted my YouTube channel. So during stage 1, I come up the concept and style for my characters. For stage 2, I started modeling the environment scenario. Stage 3, I proceed to do the animation for my main character for the VR video. And then, after I do my main character animation, I do the side character animation for the VR video. And then, after I finish all the modeling and animation, I render it in Maya. And finally, I render the video in After Effects in order to make it have a 360 rotation, which can be viewed in a VR perspective. So here's a brief explanation of the story of the VR animation. So this animation tells the story of a family tragedy caused by vaccine hesitancy. Our protagonist has a family and is a father of 2. Because of his job, he had contact with many clients. Even though his wife encourages him to have a vaccination, but he refuses as he didn't trust vaccines. This actually indirectly leads to the protagonist's death because he doesn't have any antibodies to fight the virus. So this is the character design sketch for my VR animation. On the left side is a design sketch of the protagonist and their family members. As you can see, the protagonist is wearing light blue patient clothing as he is admitted to the hospital. On the right side is the design sketch for medical workers wearing protective goggles, coveralls, and masks. So for the design, I choose a very simple yet stylized character design for this project, as a simple and remarkable design helps the users identify who my character is in the easiest way. But also, simplicity is crucial for creating a 3D animation. Since I needed to render the characters for each frame and scene, a more straightforward character design keeps the production time and cost down. So after finishing the sketch, I do the modeling in Maya. I use the default texture for Arnold's renderer. This is to keep the modeling simple and neat. So this is one of the scenarios in this animation, which took place in an inpatient ward. I modeled some of the medical equipment in the intensive care unit. I intentionally intentionally maintain most of the model in blue-green color. This is to create tension and let the user have more sense of substitution. So the following one is another scenario that took place in a hospital hall. So from the protagonist's perspective, when he is admitted to the emergency ward, this scene attempts to capture the feeling of confusion and panic amongst the users. So this scene took place in the protagonist's house. It appears in a memory fragment of the main character. So the purpose of this scene is to highlight the importance of family to the protagonist. For the lighting, I mimicked the hazy and indistinct feeling when the protagonist recalls the time he spent with his family. It implies the gradual passing of the protagonist's life and consciousness. So for this one, I did another lighting setup for this scene. This is when our protagonist begins to hallucinate, imagining that he is now having fun with his family, but in fact, his life is at stake. The purpose of this scene is to let users experience the pain of parting forever from their loved one, but most importantly, is to bring out the harm caused by vaccine hesitancy towards themselves and their families. Okay, so this is the link directly to the YouTube channel.
And then the cursor can be moved. Where's the introduction? Yeah, it's okay. Just refresh it. Okay.
So when the user is playing the video, they can move their cursors, so the perspective will be very different.
Actually, the assessor can take a look in future in the link that we've given after this, okay? This one we just play it till the end.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. And in conclusion, it would be great if we could utilize virtual reality in the medical field and be of assistance to patients, because it also helps to lower the medical costs. I hope that virtual reality can be promoted its use in Malaysia. That's all for my presentation. And this is some of the references you can take a look. And thank you for being. This is the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.